That's right. It is time for Philadelphia Flyers hockey. Is Flyers game day. Jason Martinez, Brian Smith in Charlotte or Raleigh. Sorry,
Close enough.
As the Flyers
we get the point.
Get the set to take on the Canes tonight. As the revenge tour continues. The revenge tour, the revenge portion of the schedule is brought to you by. It started in Anaheim on Friday. Flyers got a 6-3 win, avenging that 7-4 loss at Wells Fargo Center. Then it continued Saturday in back-to-back fashion when they took on the Los Angeles Kings, who beat them a week prior 5-0. They beat them 4-2. Tonight they take on Carolina, who they lost to on October 30th. That score was 3-2 in a really tight game, and we know that they lost in Vegas in that game late, back a little while back, a couple weeks ago, and they'll face Vegas on Saturday. But the task at hand tonight is to get one over on the Carolina Hurricanes.
Absolutely, yeah. It's funny how the schedule shakes out sometimes with this. They got 2 in a row coming up against the Islanders and things like that. So every now and then you just get a vein where you hit the same team kind of over and over again. And, this is another one where, they wanted a bit of a better fate in that game against Carolina back on the 30th. They felt like they probably deserved a bit of a better fate. But, that was that run there where they were playing really good hockey and just not getting the results. And honestly, for the most part, that run has continued. Even the San Jose game, I don't think was particularly bad hockey. The LA game, 5-0 loss still, though. Not particularly terrible hockey, more just a bump in the schedule for that one. They've been fairly consistent overall in the way they've approached games, and they're just looking for another one of those here tonight. Really, the biggest thing they want to do is turn around the special teams. But the way this team is kind of rebuilding at the moment, special teams comes last. First, it was defense. That was last year. They're playing very well defensively. Now it's trying to get the offense going in general.
Yeah, it's amazing. These two teams, they've each played 15 games. Carolina's in the third spot in the Metro with 18 points, a record of 9-6 on the season. The Flyers come in through 15 games, 7-7-1. They've got 15 points. They're in the sixth spot in the Metropolitan Division. Each team is +2 when it comes to goal differential. I mean, the likeness of these two teams is pretty astounding. Where Carolina 3.33 goals per game, 13th in the league. Flyers 19th in the league at 3.20. Flyers give up less goals, however, than Carolina, who gives up 3.27. Flyers give up 3.07. I mean, even shot suppression is very similar, and shots generated very similar. The only difference is that on the power play, the Flyers are tied for the bottom spot in the NHL. It's still a pretty small sample size. Oh, no, they're not tied at the bottom spot anymore. Washington's got that at 7.3%. Flyers are tied for second worst, but St. Louis at 7.7%. Carolina's a team that's ninth in the NHL, 25.5. And when you think about the perception of these two teams, and rightfully so, Carolina's been a good team for a number of years. Really, the only difference so far through 15 games for these two teams has been one team's got a power play clicking basically 18 percentage points higher.
Exactly, yeah. And that's going to continue to be the issue until the Flyers get that power play going. Honestly, the 5-on-5 play is probably more important, I would say, from the grand scheme of things. And, if they can stay out of the box, the whole power play thing doesn't become that exacerbated. But as John Tortorella has talked about, the power play doesn't just exist in a vacuum. If you get a power play and you don't capitalize, it can give the other team momentum. It can kind of sap your guys. I mean, watching them in practice today, even you can tell it's weighing on the guys a little bit. Even the little things are frustrating. When they bobble a puck in practice, they're getting frustrated. It's almost like they're playing it right now where they're just waiting for something to go wrong with it, even in practice. So, it's something that can weigh on a team. And so for that reason, if you get it going, it can help the rest of your game as well. So that's where it's really kind of important for them to try to, finally, kind of get some life behind it.
Right. It's basically not a thing until it's a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it's become a thing. And, having good power plays and creating good opportunities, is good for a power play. But ultimately, for this team to make it not a thing, they're going to have to put the puck in the net. And you and I were talking before we came on the air. there's pieces here that can make for a successful power play, but I think the pieces got to figure out their role on the power play.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you look at power plays around the league. I was a little stunned when you said Washington's lower than the Flyers because obviously Ovechkin. It's like that's bizarre. But he is, he's getting up there, right? He may have hit a wall, but for the better part of a decade, he has resided in the left wing circle of Washington's power play, and everybody knows it. And he scores all those goals anyway. So I think you're right. It's a matter of kind of not just giving the players confidence on the power play, but giving them confidence in their roles on the power play. And once that gets set, once that gets established, I think you'll see a long way toward improving the overall execution of it.
I think a big part of it is somebody's got to grab the power play and make it theirs and become the captain of the power play or the steward of the power play. Line combinations real quick tonight. We got about 40 seconds. Couturier, Forster, and Atkinson, Frost, Tippett, and Konechny. I still like that line together. Paling, Farabee, and Lawton. Cates, Delarier, and Hathaway. York and Sanheim on D. Zamula and Walker, Belpedio and Sealer. And then one of the big storylines tonight, Bry, your 10-second response, Carter Hart back in that.
Yep, Carter will be back in there for finally. He tried twice.
No halibut.
Tried twice. Now he'll get there, and I'm really looking at that Paling line as well because he had 4 scoring chances last time out. See if he can improve on that.
Yeah, stay tuned. Tim Saunders and Todd Fedoruk, they're standing by in Raleigh for the countdown to face-off, followed by all the first period action. You've been listening to Flyers Game Day on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network.